Detroit Lions team heading into today's game. It's just been out of control. So I'm really excited to see them actually, kick the ball off today and see what happens. They're gonna be going against some tough opponents in the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously coming off a Super Bowl run last year. And questionable still is Travis Kelce. So who knows if they'll be at full strength. But again, just really excited to see this Lions team and see who they are, if they truly are the team that is deserving of all the hype they've gotten so far.
I feel, Chris, like we as football fans deserve a better game than this. And maybe the Lions come out. Seriously.
You want better opponents?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, or like Chiefs, a better opponent.
Obviously.
Chiefs, right.
And maybe they come out and Goff is, what do you call him, all the elite passer?
I've never said that.
Jared Goff. I'm sure you said it. So maybe they come out and it's a great game. And I'd love to be wrong, but I honestly feel like this game is supposed to be two really good teams. Super Bowl rematch, if that's possible or something like that. But to have the Chiefs, Super Bowl champions, against a team that wasn't even in the playoffs, I feel like we deserve better.
I mean, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. I think that this is a little bit premature for the Lions to be put in this spot. I mean, this is
great way to put it.
It's the NFL kickoff. Like, this is supposed to be, the two most exciting. This is supposed to get you excited.
It's supposed to be an event.
This is exactly. It's supposed to be an event. It's just for them to have the Lions. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And, again, I know that there's tons of hype heading into this season for Detroit, but it feels very unjustified. And I'm expecting them to be an exciting team this year. Absolutely. I think their offense is going to be electrifying. I definitely do. Like, they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round. They're going to be without Jameson Williams for the first 9 games of the season, but they were a great offense last year. And, the Chiefs, obviously their offensive resume speaks for itself. So in that sense, it should be a high scoring game, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a good football game. So,
well, people love high scoring. You know that.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. It's
not connoisseurs of professional football like yourself, but hey, the game's on TV. Wow. I don't think the Lions are going to struggle too much to score, but it's at the other end. I mean, we may be looking at a 50 burger.
For sure. I mean, and without Travis Kelce, that'll be interesting. I mean, I've pointed out to you a couple of weeks ago my concern about the Chiefs receiving core. I mean, it's depleted. I mean, since they lost Tyreek Hill a few years ago, they brought in Juju Smith last year. He's no longer with the team. I mean, their top receivers are guys that most people have never heard of. Sky Moore. They have Justin Ross, just a ton of no-name receivers. And
no name, very good.
Brian, no, you got it.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're really they're hoping that Patrick Mahomes' greatness is going to elevate everybody else. I mean, and it's a bold strategy, but I think if anybody's capable of uplifting as bad of a receiving core as the Chiefs have, it's probably that guy number 15, Patrick Mahomes.
I think, are we good?
Are we good?
We have your guy. We're ready to go.
All right. Hopefully joining us now is Brian No. Brian, do we got you?
I think so. I think everything's good. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We
2,
can hear you.
3.
Yeah, we're good. I can hear you.
5. It's good, huh?
Are we good?
Yes.
I think we're good. Brian, are you excited for tonight's game? Do you feel like the Lions are a worthy opponent to kick off this NFL season?
Not at all. I swing the other way where everybody's excited for the NFL to begin, and I'm not. No, I'm just kidding. I am completely fired up. Yeah. I'm totally fired up. I get your point though, where it just seems like it's the B stage, doesn't it? It seems like if you go to any music festivals there, Chris?
Yeah, I've been to a couple.
What's like a real popular music festival you've been to?
I went to Day in Vegas in Las Vegas. It's like a 3-day hip hop festival.
There you go. Well, you get the main acts on the main stage, and then you get like the B and the C stage, and the guys that are coming up.
DJ booth and all that stuff. Yeah.
I think the Lions are more on the B or C stage. They're not here yet. They're not ready for Chiefs prime time. That's not where they're at.
Yeah, it doesn't feel that way to me. I just feel like, this could have been I know the Jets are playing on Monday night, but this seems like it would have been a good spot for them to kind of shoehorn Aaron Rodgers in there. And again, I know they're playing Monday night, but they're definitely a team that has had equal hype, if not even more than the Lions this off season. And so I would have liked to see them in there, Buffalo, obviously, Cincinnati. I think there's tons of better options than the Detroit Lions, who I agree. I think that they're definitely ascending. They're an exciting team. Again, they have a really exciting offense, but do they really belong to kick off the NFL season as the Chiefs are getting their rings and celebrating their success of last year? It's just going to be weird. I mean, it's always weird when the Lions are a primetime team on Thanksgiving, and this kind of gives similar energy. They don't feel like they're big enough for this spot.
See, I like our approach because it's a party tonight. The NFL's back. And we're just like, what's the NFL doing? What is this? Like, very Philadelphia of us today, right? Like, what is this?
I've been known as a wet blanket around here, so it's very fitting in character for me.
But I like that, Chris. And then if you look at the Chiefs' home schedule, if you look at the top 3 attractive games to start off the season, the Lions are not one of them. So if you give me your impromptu top 3, okay, this is in order.
Okay.
The Chiefs' home schedule. So they've got Detroit, and they have the Bears, and they get Denver, they get the Chargers, they play the Dolphins. It's in Germany. It's technically a Chiefs' home game. So that counts as well.
Yeah.
Eagles, Bills, Raiders, Bengals. But you have, let's see, Chargers, Dolphins, Eagles, Bills, Bengals. All better options than the Lions tonight.
Every single one of those is a much better option. Like, who wouldn't love to see, the Joe Burrow versus Patrick Mahomes story arc continue, a Super Bowl rematch. We could have gotten in game 1 a Super Bowl rematch, and for them to, it just doesn't make much of any sense for me for them to throw in the Lions. Like, again, the Lions are fun. I think they're going to be exciting, but is week 1 really the time to put them on notice? And if they lose, like, it's also just for the Lions perspective, like their story arc of the season, if they lose tonight, it doesn't, obviously the season's not over for them, but it's just, it really dampens all the hype that has been built up all off season long.
Those auctioneers where they're like, 5. So we've got 5 matchups that are better than the Lions, right? Yeah. Do I hear 6? Are you more interested to see Russell Wilson and the Broncos or Goff and the Lions?
There you go. Yeah.
I'd rather see Sean Payton in that storyline. So we've got 6 better matchups. Now, is this a better matchup, Lions taking on the Chiefs, than the Bears taking on the Chiefs? I think it is.
I would rather see the Lions, yeah.
Okay. Would you rather see the Raiders or the Lions tonight?
Honestly, I mean, it could be because the Raiders have local ties, but that's about even for me. I mean, I think for the national perspective, maybe the Lions are definitely supposed to be a better team, but it's always fun to have the Raiders involved.
Yeah, so this might be the 7th best. No, wait, it'd be the 8th best matchup of their 9 home games.
It's just ridiculous. I mean,
that's crazy.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Well,
shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, Wadi, thank you so much for saving the day a little bit here. I appreciate it.
Been shitting.
Yeah, and I think I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
I think I'll see you tomorrow. So we're going to continue with myself and Brian Noe coming up on the other side of the break. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Oh, what's going on? I'm Brian No. He's Chris Watkins here on Sactown Sports. How about that, Chris? You never know what radio's going to throw at you, you know?
That's what I've been learning. Yeah, I haven't done this for too long, but I've learned that always expect the unexpected.
It was just a fork ball thrown at you. A fork knuckle curve.
Yeah. It's not exactly what you want to hear, like, I don't know, 30 seconds before you're about to go on air is, hey, your co-host, we don't have him.
Yeah, some connection problems. Wink, wink, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Meaning he's just, he's busy doing other stuff.
Yep.
No. It's just some, whatever. There's gremlins in the connection boxes. It happens, man. It happens.
Yeah.
But
radio's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. How about this? The numbers of Nick Bosa.
Oh, my goodness.
Guy's getting paid over here. 5 years, $170 million extension. I don't know about you, Chris. I don't know what took so long. If he ends up being the highest paid defensive player in the history of the NFL, what took so long? Why did they wait till the 11th hour to come to an agreement? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if they got a hometown discount or something. The Niners didn't. So I don't know. They just waited to the last second and were like, we got to have him. Nick Bosa gets paid and he's signed, sealed, and delivered right there.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, that's so strange, and that's a great point because if he was always going to get paid what he was asking, I mean, we were hearing the 49ers initial offer or the offer that Bosa wasn't happy with was around the $30 million range, and he was asking for about 34, 35 million, which is what he ended up getting. So, that's really a common through line for the 49ers for in this John Lynch era. It just feels like they take everything down to the last minute. If they, for whatever reason, it played out to an extent to the Trey Lance situation, but they just make everything harder than it needs to be for some reason. And, to take this down to the final hour doesn't make much sense to me. I think the team really could have benefited from having him in training camp. I'm sure Bosa really enjoyed his time away, but I think that especially with the 49ers changing out the right side of their line, I think it would have been really good practice for guys like Colton McKivitz to go against Nick Bosa every single day in practice.
Yeah, man. And what's crazy is you think about the game tonight. We just spent a little bit of time, railing against the Lions being featured in game
anytime.
1.
I'll rail against the Lions anytime.
Think about this, Chris. Compare the Niners situation with Bosa compared to the Chiefs situation with Chris Jones.
Right.
It's way different from one obvious perspective. The Chiefs are paying Mahomes a boatload compared to the Niners not paying Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's Mr. Irrelevant. He's on his rookie deal. If you're Nick Bosa, it's like, wait a minute, run this by me again. You're not paying a quarterback even close to top dollar, and you don't have the cash. You don't have the cap space for me. I call BS.
Right.
So that's essentially what happened. Meanwhile, Chris Jones, he can't call that. He can't call the Chiefs. He doesn't have that same argument when they're paying Mahomes what they're paying him.
Right. Exactly. That's another great point. Like, their Brock Purdy doesn't make $1 million for the next 2 seasons. Like, I mean, they pay they have the highest paid fullback in the NFL, the highest paid running back in the NFL. I believe Trent Williams is near the top of tackles in the NFL. Like, they've paid other positions what they need, but I've been saying this the last couple of days, like this thing doesn't work. You're not a true Super Bowl contender without Nick Bosa. And the advantage of not paying the quarterback, like you're pointing at, is the fact that you get to pay everybody else. That's how the Niners are afforded the luxury of having George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey on the offensive end, like, and Trent Williams as well. Like, this is how you're supposed to conduct yourself when you're not paying the quarterback. The Chiefs, at least, like you're saying, have the excuse of we're paying Patrick Mahomes a ton of money. We might not have the funds for you, Chris Jones, even though we really obviously would love to have you on the team. And you could argue he's as important to the Chiefs' title success or chances as Nick Bosa is to the Niners.
Well, and that's the thing to me is if you look at both divisions top to bottom, and if you look at both schedules, right, there's no doubt the AFC West I would say top to bottom is a better division. I shouldn't say there's no doubt, because I'm expecting Denver to be better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Raiders are going to blow the doors off anybody, but you're looking at the AFC West from a Chiefs point of view, right? You look at the NFC West from a Niners point of view.
Yeah.
The other three teams, okay, the Seahawks, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Deep team, a lot of talent. Rams, we'll see.
TBD.
It's a bit of a wild card.
Yeah.
Arizona is going to be freaking brutal.
The worst. The absolute worst.
So I think the Chiefs have a better division top to bottom. And then if you think from a Niners standpoint, if you're playing hardball and you're thinking, okay, let's look objectively at the beginning of the schedule.
Yeah.
And let's see if we hold out for a couple of weeks, maybe Nick Bosa, he softens his stance. So you start off with the Steelers on the road, the Rams on the road. Then you get the Giants and the Cardinals at home.
Yeah.
That's not murderer's row. It's pretty favorable. I don't see anything worse than 2-2 at worst.
Oh, yeah. At worst, yeah.
If you have no Nick Bosa. And the Niners, they buckled. If you look at the Chiefs, it's a bit of a mixed bag. They have the Lions tonight, at Jacksonville, host the Bears, then at the Jets on Sunday night.
Right.
So without Chris Jones, that sounds like 2-2 at worst.
Yeah.
And yet they're holding out. They're not paying the guy.
Yeah, and it's a risky play. I mean, I don't quite understand how or why the Chiefs are building their team like this. Again, another situation where it seems like this team is making it harder than it needs to be. Patrick Mahomes and Chris Jones are the two things that make the Chiefs really, again, Super Bowl contenders. And I think it's very interesting to me that the Chiefs I've been pointing it out, the fact that they are just pretty much passing on the receiver position. Like, if you're going to do that, again, I think that's Chris Jones should use that as, hey, you're not, I don't know where you're throwing this money, but I need to get paid. Like, if you want to be a Super Bowl contender, you need Chris Jones on the field, in my opinion. Like, they might be able to skate through the first couple games of the year, but come playoff time, when you're going against the Buffaloes and the Cincinnatis, you're going to need somebody on the defensive end that's going to step it up, because I don't know if the Chiefs' offensive weapons are really good enough anymore to just carry the team like they have the past couple of years.
You know what's crazy too is Mahomes and Travis Kelce are saying all the right things publicly, and that might be how they truly feel. But think about this. Patrick Mahomes could be commanding a lot more money than he is. He's left a lot of money on the table. Same thing with Travis Kelce. These guys could be commanding much more money than they're getting. And so I really do wonder if they start to look sideways at Chris Jones. It doesn't sound like they are, but at least the recipe for them to potentially feel that way is right there in front of us. Because put yourself in similar shoes. Now, we're not making millions and millions of dollars, but if we keep this in radio terms, let's say you've sacrificed, you've left some money on the table. We're doing a show together, and I'm holding out because I need to get paid. You know what I mean? Like, At some point, it puts more stress on you. There's more that you have to bring to the table. There's more heavy lifting on your end. You know, that whole thing, the first segment, that was just to illustrate my point. You know what I'm saying? Like about when we couldn't get connected. I'm kidding right there. Like you have to do more lifting, but you understand, right? Like if you look at Mahomes, let's say the Lions rack up a bunch of yards tonight.
Yeah.
They could.
Right.
You know, like it's easy in the offseason to say, hey, it's a business thing. He's trying to get paid. I understand it. Let's see you lose a couple of games in a row and the defense not hold up its end of the bargain. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be really interesting to see the longer this drags out, how things go.
Right. Absolutely. And it could really fracture the relationship. I mean, what you're pointing at is actually like, it's a great point. It is like it's a human thing that you just can't ignore. And then even if he does get paid and he gets what he wants, and then he comes back, like that doesn't mean that everyone isn't going to still feel those feelings that you're describing. Like if anything, it might be amplified. It's like, oh, so you're just happy now? Like everything's just supposed to be good because you got your money? Well, how about the fact that, yeah, we had to struggle Chris Jones has talked about sitting out 8 weeks already. The fact that he's already put that out there tells me that mentally he's already kind of gotten to the point where he's okay with missing that amount of games. And, you know, the Niners, a big talk this training camp has been about their championship window. And not a lot is talked about the Chiefs championship window because it feels like as long as you have Patrick Mahomes, you're fine. But, you know, he can only do so much, especially when you're in a stacked conference like the AFC. Like Patrick Mahomes can get you so far, but you know, you're going to need a supporting cast besides him. This isn't basketball. You can't just have LeBron James and that means you're going to get to the finals. You need an actual team in the NFL.
Yeah, man, it's wild. And think about tonight. We don't know about Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
If he's going to play at all. He's got that hyperextended knee.
Yep.
So if you're Mahomes, let's just say this is possible. Let's say that Kelce either doesn't play or is limited. He's affected. And then you don't have Chris Jones on top of that.
Oh, my
And you're trying to repeat. Think about what Mahomes just did.
Right.
So Mahomes loses Tyreek Hill. And we always talk about having like the value of a rookie contract in the NFL.
Right.
And how you can pay everybody else. Look at Mahomes' path through the playoffs. It was all against guys on rookie deals.
Mm-hmm.
It was Trevor Lawrence with Jacksonville. It was Joe Burrow at the time, still on his rookie. He still hasn't gotten his extension, and then also Jalen Hurts. All three guys, rookie deal, rookie deal, rookie deal. Oh, and by the way, he got hurt in the first playoff game against Jacksonville. Yeah. It's crazy what he just did. They're trying to run it back.
Yeah.
And one of their key guys is holding out for more cash. So that bears watching, man. And Mahomes been the ultimate professional. But I'm just curious. Remember that year, a couple of years ago, they started off like 3-4 or something?
Yeah.
If they're 3-4 and Chris Jones hasn't played a game, that is a different deal, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's very similar to what we've been talking about here with the Niners. Like there's a lot of, if Nick, it does. The thing is, I mean, it's not good for the Chiefs, but if they do start 3-4, that's great leverage for Chris Jones. That's clearly him. All you do there is say, hey, man, scoreboard. Like, you guys need me. And you know, you could argue, I mean, there's no better defense than that, but it's going to get nasty. I don't see that this is going to be like a Nick Bosa situation where everybody comes together and then, you know, they just start playing football. This seems like it's going to go on for a while now.
Yeah. All right, we got a lot to get to. Coming up next, what is this guy rooting for tonight? That's on the way. Keep it locked right here. Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
The first ever NBA in-season tournament schedule is out, and our Kings have some great matchups, including national TV games against the Spurs and Warriors.
And Sacramento has won. They have risen to the occasion. And let me tell you, if you can't sense it, this place is absolutely nuts.
Listen to every game on the home of the Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail, the ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
All right, team. Apps on the table by 7:30 sharp.
Jalen and his catering company have a lot on their plate.
Really particular.
He needs a bigger team to continue climbing up the food chain.
Throughout this event. Hey, Mitch, was that a contract for 200 or 250 people?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The NFL is here, and it's all about the sweet offers from DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can pocket $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any NFL game. DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code SNAP to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5. That's code SNAP only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
Get your retirement savings to play ball with your retirement plan. Call Cap Trust today at 916-924-7527 or log on to captrust.com. Summertime and River Cats baseball are the perfect pairing. The only thing missing is you. With weekly promotions, premium giveaway games, and unique theme nights, there's fun for everyone at Sutter Health Park. Stick around postgame every Friday and Saturday night as we light up the sky with the brightest fireworks in town. Visit rivercats.com to purchase tickets.
Your Sacramento State Hornets kick off the 2023 football season this Saturday, September 9th with kickoff at 7 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
We're going abroad for the first time in years to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports' IMAX Pass by visiting Sactownsports.com and sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's film at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. Happy Thursday. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. The wait is over and football is back. The reigning champs, Kansas City Chiefs, open up the season hosting the Detroit Lions tonight from Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs star tight end, Travis Kelce, remains listed as questionable with a hyperextended knee. He's not missed a game because of injuries since his rookie year. You can listen to tonight's game with pregame beginning at 4:30 and kickoff at 5:20 right here on Sactown Sports or on your Sactown Sports app. San Francisco 49ers and Nick Bosa have agreed to terms on a 5-year, $170 million contract extension, making the All-Pro edge rusher the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history. We, of course, will carry all 49ers games this season beginning Sunday with coverage kicking off at 9 a.m. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Welcome back in to more Sactown Sports.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
I'm Brian No. He's Chris Watkins here on Sactown Sports. Man, Chris, if you are Chris Jones tonight, what are you rooting for? Right? The guy hasn't gotten paid. He doesn't have his Nick Bosa contract.
Yeah.
We know how great of a defensive tackle he is. What are you hoping for? Right? Like, what's the best case scenario for you and your team? And do those compete against each other at all, right?
Yeah, that's a tough one because, of course, like, you know, if you put a mic in front of him, of course he's going to say, I'm rooting for my guys out there. Those are still my dogs. I might not be getting paid or I might not be playing with them, but I'm still rooting for them. But I mean, it'd be ignorant to not point out the obvious that, again, if they lose, that's great leverage. Like that is, you just got to take that scoreboard. You show however many, rushing yards the Lions have tonight, or, how few sacks the Chiefs might get tonight. And you just take that right to the front office and you say, this is my defense and pay me. I mean, it's really that simple. And so, I think if you gave him truth serum, maybe it's a split. Maybe it's like a pie, maybe 70-30 rooting for the Chiefs, but kind of also like it's not the worst thing if we lose,
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird because, man, I think all the way back to the Emmitt Smith days, and they started off the season 0-2.
Right.
And it was like the whole team collectively was like, pay Emmitt now.
Yeah.
And he got paid. And so, yeah, maybe you want to go like Chiefs 45, Lions 42.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Too.
Like,
yeah, high scoring.
We'll just take like the Colorado TCU game. And,
oh, please. I'd gladly take that.
That'd be good for Chris Jones.
Yeah.
He probably wants to see the defense give up a decent amount of yards.
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
I think he wants to see a win, but I don't know if you just – there's no media around. There's nothing. You're one of his boys. What is he saying? You're watching the game with him. How is he reacting to what's going on?
Again, like I just think there's a human element to this to where you can't, like, if you're Chris Jones, I don't know if you're actively rooting for it, but I do think it's just one of those things where if that's how it plays out, I'm not here to complain. Like I think he's strangely in a win-win situation where, yeah, if the Chiefs win, of course, that's good for his team and, a good sign that, yeah, they really do have, some championship hopes or, it's whatever. It's just a good way to start off the season. But, yeah, if they lose, it's great fuel for his whole holdout. I mean, there really isn't a better thing that he can have happen for his wallets than the Chiefs losing, not just tonight, but yeah, I mean, you point out like maybe they start 2-2, maybe they fall on, you listed out all of those home games. If a lot of those teams are tough, like I don't know if they can beat the Eagles, if they can, take down the Dolphins, who are an incredibly dangerous team offensively. Like they have a really tough schedule, and you're going to need as much defense as you're going to get or as you can get.
Man, so listen, Chiefs hosting the Lions. It's got me geeked for week one altogether here, Chris.
Yeah.
And I'm not only geeked for week one, I'm geeked for weeks 1 through 18.
Oh, of course.
And so here's what I'm thinking. I was thinking the Niners, their first opponent is obviously the Steelers.
Yeah.
So it's not just about week one. If we do a tail of the tape for the whole season, okay, I got a couple of categories here. And I'm curious what your predictions would be. So let's go through it and let's compare notes here. So if you look at the quarterback breakdown, okay, you look at Brock Purdy versus Kenny Pickett.
Mm-hmm.
So who has the better individual season? Now, a couple of things, just backdrop-wise.
Sure.
If we're talking just stats. So Purdy, he only had those 5 starts in the regular season. But good numbers. His passer rating was fantastic. It's about 107. That's through the roof. And he threw for just under 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 picks. Those are solid numbers. If you look at Kenny Pickens, he started 12 games, so double and then some. He threw for just over 2,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. And his passer rating was just under 77. You see that a lot with rookie QBs. What Brock Purdy did is uncommon.
Yeah.
And there are reasons for that, right? That wasn't murderer's row with who he faced.
Right.
And he's surrounded by a who's who supporting cast. But he looked very good. He made quick decisions, accurate throws, the whole thing. So if you're looking statistically, you can break it down however you want. More passing yardage,
sure,
touchdowns to picks, passer rating. What do you see? not just in week 1, but throughout the season, Purdy versus Pickett?
It's a great question, because if you were to just ask me blanket, which one would you rather have? Like, I think at this point, it's kind of still a toss up. And it's funny because, Pickett was the first quarterback taken in last year's draft. And Brock Purdy was quite literally the last player taken in the entire draft of last year. So that's just a funny comparison between the two. But I mean, with the talent that Brock Purdy has, you just feel like there's so much potential for him to put up numbers that it doesn't even really have to be Brock Purdy individual success. Like if you look at, the NFL highlight reel of Brock Purdy, the NFL YouTube highlight reel of Brock Purdy last year, it's him throwing to a lot of wide open Deebo Samuels and a lot of wide open George Kittles. And that doesn't feel very hard to replicate. And so you could see him, and it's not like he's throwing bombs or anything. These are 10-yard routes and they're just taking it for 50, 60 yards at a time. And so, stat wise, I think there's a really good possibility that you look at Brock Purdy's stats and they're going to be better than Pickett. And mainly because Pickett, all of his stats are going to have to be because Kenny Pickett played well. If he's got to find George Pickens, who's prime for an exciting season, or, Deontay Johnson on the outside, like he's going to have to actively make plays himself. And so if you were to just say from a stat perspective, I still think I'd give the nod to Brock Purdy.
You know what's crazy is if you look at one team, let's say the Niners, right?
Yeah.
They most likely wouldn't move on from Brock Purdy for Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
They most likely wouldn't do that because they're like, this is our guy and we had some success, yada, yada, yada. But if you look at the other 30 teams, let's say they're in need of a quarterback due to injury, due to whatever, they're moving on from their current guy. How many teams do you think would take Brock Purdy? How many teams do you think would take Kenny Pickett?
Oh, see, that's that's a tough one. I think I would definitely say more. Oh man, that's so tough because I mean, Purdy is a proven thing. And in the NFL, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of, there's not a lot of risk taken, especially at quarterback. You almost want to take what you know instead of what you think you might. But I mean, Kenny Pickett was still the first quarterback taken. And so I think that I think a majority of teams would probably still take Kenny Pickett.
I do too. Yeah. I think they would. And that's the thing. Isn't that crazy? You could look at this from so many different vantage points where I take nothing away from Brock Purdy. He played well, but I'm going to take into account who you played and who you were surrounded by. It's a little bit like college football. It's who you played and who you beat, right? Like,
exactly.
That's a large portion of it. For a quarterback, it's who you played and who you're surrounded by. Like, I can't help but think, is Brock Purdy the same guy with the Houston Texans?
Right.
No, he's not. But the other side of this is with Kenny Pickett, who has more ability, at least heading into the draft. He certainly did, more upside. The guy threw 7 touchdowns, 9 picks.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's a rookie, but still, there's a lot of momentum, a lot of hype for Kenny Pickett, and he might have a Trevor Lawrence jump from year 1 to year 2, maybe.
Sure.
We'll see. But there's a lot of momentum for Kenny Pickett right now heading in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've seen, but his preseason numbers are out of control. Like, I think he literally had a perfect QB rating or it was either QB or passer rating through the entirety of the preseason. I think he had 4 touchdown passes on 4 opening drives, or 3 opening drives. It's been absolutely insane. Like he's, and that's what I think it's stemming from, because you point out his numbers from last year, and the Steelers did end the season really well last year. I think they went 7-1 or 7-2 to end the season last year. So, there was some good momentum for that team, but it never really was the Kenny Pickett show at any point last year. Like I haven't seen enough to really have me super excited about Kenny Pickett, but I think that there's still hope just with how well he's had, how good of an offseason and how good of a training camp and preseason he had, that, it's enough to kind of get excited about it. I think if you're the Steelers, I mean, they found success last year, even without Kenny Pickett. If he can just be an average NFL quarterback this year, I mean, I think that there's reason to believe that the Steelers can have a really good season.
All right, we'll get back to Steelers v. Niners, not
Yeah.
just in week one, but season outlook between those two teams. Coming up next, what are the chances that the unthinkable actually happens? I'm Brian Noe. He's Chris Watkins at Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Who do they decide on for the Super Bowl?
What do you mean, halftime act?
Yeah. I know that Taylor Swift.
Yeah, turned him down, right?
At what point do people turn on Taylor Swift and be like, why don't you lower your prices? And I understand the whole Ticketmaster thing, but what about the merch? Like, legit, do you have to make $1 billion? Could you make $500 million? Could you?
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Celebrate the crowning of the NTT IndyCar Series champion at the season finale Firestone Grand Prix of Monterey at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, September 8th through 10th. International athletes hitting 180 miles per hour as they roar by. Experience autograph sessions, Ferris wheel, go-karts, and delicious Monterey cuisine. And don't miss IndyCars descending the famous corkscrew at astounding speed and accuracy. Tickets are on sale now at WeatherTechRaceway.com. Don't miss IndyCar racing and the season finale September 8th through 10th. It's the fastest action in America. Ready for a sizzling football season? Take your game day parties to the next level with Napoleon Prestige Grills from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Fire up the grill and score big with mouthwatering burgers, juicy steaks, and finger-licking wings. Napoleon Prestige Grills bring the heat and come complete with a lifetime warranty. Get your ultimate game day companion today. Visit your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply and elevate your tailgate experience with Napoleon Prestige Grills. Green Acres Nursery and Supply, your one-stop shop for grilling greatness this football season. Visit iDigGreenAcres.com for the store near you. Game on.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit KHTK.com.
Your Sacramento State Hornets kick off the 2023 football season this Saturday, September 9th, with kickoff at 7 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and, and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Get ready for a night with Cole Swindell.
2023 ACM Song of the Year winner hits Heart Health Park at Cal Expo in Sacramento, Saturday, September 9th for the CITP2 Fest. And Cole's bringing some friends like Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, Matt Stell, and more. Tickets start at $40 at CITPFest.com.
Listen to Oakland A's baseball on the weekends all season long right here on Sactown Sports, beginning with the pregame show brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
The NFL is here, and it's all about the sweet offers from DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can pocket $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any NFL game. DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code SNAP to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5. That's code SNAP only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Welcome back to Sactown Sports. I'm Brian Noe. He's Chris Watkins. Man, could the unthinkable happen here, Chris? I love this story. So USC quarterback Caleb Williams, his dad did an interview with GQ magazine and said, hey, if we don't like who's picking number one, my kid might be going back to USC. I don't know. And I can tell just by your face.
Incredible.
I don't think you're buying it. I'm not buying this at all. Like, here's the thing. It's like the NFL offseason. It's easy for Aaron Rodgers to be, right, he's the more composed, he's the more patient guy, he's understanding. Oh, you ran the wrong route. It's all good. When the bullets come flying at you in week 9 and 10, it can change the math right there, you know? So it's along those same lines where you can think this now on September 7th?
Right.
But if we're in January, February, we're thinking about the draft in a couple of months, I have a hard time believing you're turning down that much money without a guarantee it's going to be better the next year. It could still be the same franchise the next year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see the Cardinals getting better anytime soon. I don't know about you, but I agree with you to an extent. I think he would do it only because of NIL. That's the only reason why I could see him possibly staying. I think I saw a report that his NIL money is right now is actually more than what he would make as a rookie on a rookie scale deal. So if that is true, then that would definitely be a good case for staying. And it's not like, no shots to the Midwest, but it's not like he's chilling in Nebraska or something. He's already in LA. I saw the other day for the LAFC game that they were playing against Inter Miami, playing Messi. He's already on the press list or the celebrity list for that. So, I think I'm a lot more willing to believe it just because he's at USC and he's in LA and he's already collecting NIL money. And if he can stack another Heisman on top of his college career, I think he'll probably add to that NIL money next year. And funny enough, actually, I do think a Heisman might make him more likely to enter the NFL as well, though, because at that point, what else is there really to accomplish? But I'm not so willing to say he wouldn't do it. I mean, especially if it is a team like the Cardinals where it feels like there's really nothing going on for them. He's got to be a businessman, and that's part of the new equation that is the NIL is people now have the choice. It's not all about, hey, I need to feed my family, I have to go to the NFL. If you're already collecting checks while you're in college, it could change some people's idea. I definitely think it can change your mind about it.
I don't believe it for a second.
Yeah, I mean,
not 1 second.
Yeah.
I think this too, where, and I hear you on the NIL stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're really against one franchise, why wouldn't you just pull an Eli or a John Elway?
Sure.
And say, I'm not going there. Right? Like, why not?
Yeah. I mean,
it's not like the Chargers said, well, tough. We got the number 1 pick, so you're a Charger. They were like, okay,
Sure,
I guess he's not going to play here. Right? So why would you risk, 4 years at a minimum of security, like guaranteed cash?
Right.
What Bryce Young has is, around $38 million?
Right.
So that's 4 years.
Yeah.
That's not just 1 year NIL versus your rookie year.
Sure.
It's 4 years rookie contract at a minimum. Most likely going to be a 5th year. You don't see many QBs in the first round not have that 5th year exercised. That's a lot to gamble with right there. I just don't buy it. And I'll tell you what, the bigger thing, whether he would or wouldn't, I don't want to go too hot take on you here, Chris.
Hey, it's all good.
This is a red flag. It's a red freaking flag where it's like, oh, I don't want to go to a bad situation. I get that. But to literally put it out there like, yeah, we might just punt and defer to the second half, if you will,
Sure,
which is the 2025 draft.
Right.
Think about Joe Burrow. He went to the Bengals. They hadn't won a playoff game in almost 3 decades.
That's a good point.
Look at them now.
Yeah.
Look at Jacksonville. What was Jacksonville before Trevor Lawrence? Those guys didn't shy away from it. Those guys didn't say, I might go back to college if the team picking number 1 isn't to my liking. That's a red flag where it's, I know the supporting cast matters, but if you're truly that guy, you can spruce it up quite a bit. And so I don't like what they're putting out there in terms of it's got to be to our liking or no thanks. That's like, are you that guy or are you not?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I do hear you on that. Like, and I do acknowledge that that's a really good point. Like, in the NFL isn't quite like the NBA where, yeah, you could go to a Charlotte Hornets and you could be great, but you might not ever be able to elevate them. It feels like in the NFL, you're capable of building up a team in a couple of years. And especially to your point, if he is that guy, like, you shouldn't be concerned about where you're going. If you go to the Cardinals or wherever, like, it can be done. Like, Baker Mayfield brought the Browns to the playoffs. Like, I think I can understand how it could be viewed as a red flag, though. I would also argue that maybe if somebody were to force a team's hand, that's also a little bit of a red flag. Like, if you feel like, oh, you haven't played a game or a down in the NFL and you can call shots of where you want to go, like, I think that is also something that is a little bit of bad PR. Like, we all remember that Eli Manning did that. Like, I think that's just kind of something that will stick with you for your entire career as well. And you better hope that you're that guy if you're over there demanding which team you go to and they actually fulfill it.
Yeah. And look, we'll circle back on this because it's not to say he's doomed or anything like that. Like, John Elway's like, no, I'm not playing for the Colts. It worked out okay for him. A couple of Super Bowl rings for Eli Manning too. Right. So it's not like a death sentence. But it makes me wonder, like, wait a minute. What's going on here exactly? We'll circle back to that.
Yeah.
Coming up next, though, man, both quarterbacks have impressive streaks. Will either come to an end tonight? That is coming up. Stick with us right here. Brian Noe and Chris Watkins. It's Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
If you suffer with plantar fasciitis, the search for pain relief can feel like an endless and hopeless ordeal.
I would try drugstore, insoles and supports.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked.
If you think you've tried everything to relieve your foot pain, you probably haven't tried arch supports from the Good Feet store.
And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I don't have foot pain anymore. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. That changed my life.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store. Come in now for a free arch support fitting and test walk.
The best cowboys and cowgirls in the country are coming to Marysville.
It must be rodeo time.
They're all coming for the Marysville Stampede PRCA Rodeo.
And we should be there too.
It's Saturday and Sunday, September 16th and 17th at Cotton Rosser Arena in Marysville.
Have they raised their prices?
No. Online tickets are good for Saturday or Sunday. Just $20 for adults and $10 for kids 4 to 12. The Marysville Stampede, Saturday, September 16th and 17th. Tickets on sale now at MarysvilleStampede.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines. Happy Thursday. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. The wait is over and football is back. The reigning champs, Kansas City Chiefs, open up the season hosting the Detroit Lions tonight from Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs star tight end, Travis Kelce, remains listed as questionable with a hyperextended knee. He's not missed a game because of injuries since his rookie year. You can listen to tonight's game with pregame beginning at 4:30 and kickoff at 5:20 right here on Sactown Sports or on your Sactown Sports app. San Francisco 49ers and Nick Bosa have agreed to terms on a 5-year, $170 million contract extension, making the All-Pro edge rusher the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history. We, of course, will carry all 49ers games this season beginning Sunday with coverage kicking off at 9 a.m. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Now back to more Sactown Sports.
I'm Brian Noe. He's Chris Watkins. Welcome back to Sactown Sports here. So I need some advice from you, Chris.
Perfect.
You seem like you seem like a guy that wouldn't point me in the wrong direction.
Oh,
you know,
no, I got you.
So I've done this confidence pool for a couple of years now. And so what you do, you pick every game based on the spread.
Okay.
And then you rank each game based on your level of confidence. So like this week, there are all 16 games. So you're most confident, you'd go with 16. You'd put 16 points on the line and pick one side or the other based on the point spread. So it's fun. It's challenging. But Chris, it is a recipe to not just second guess yourself.
Yes.
But third, fourth, fifth, 20th guess yourself of like, what, even if you get something right, you're like, why'd I only put 3 points on that, right? Like,
yeah. It's a surefire way to be mad about being right.
Yeah.
Which is the worst. Yeah.
Even when you're right, you're kind of wrong.
Right.
With this confidence pool. Should I run it back? Or do you think I should punt this year?
Man, I mean, it sounds really fun. I would say run it back. I mean, if it sounds like it's an enjoyable exercise too, like I think it's a good way of, especially in this business, you gotta keep track on everything that's going on. And it feels like a good exercise to kind of always stay in touch with what's going on. I personally wouldn't do it because that would, like you pointed out, that would stress me out and have me thinking pretty much all night about, I should have put that Bengals Chiefs matchup. I should have made that a 7, not a 4. Like it would be a nightmare for me.
Yeah. I think I'm getting a bit better because look, man, you're not going to bat 1,000. You're going to get a lot of stuff wrong. You just got to ride with it, man. And I've gotten better about that. So I think I'm going to take your advice and run it back, but it is challenging. I'll tell you this too. You always want to have not just the right side, but the right reasons.
Right.
For the right side.
Yes.
And it doesn't feel good enough to just shrug your shoulders and be like, it's the NFL.
Yeah.
Like crazy stuff happens. Like, but a lot of times that's exactly how it plays out.
Right. No, I completely feel that because I'm a very like process oriented person. Like I might not care as much about the result if my process was correct. Cause like, I don't know, it helps me sleep better at night, that knowing that, I didn't completely screw myself. It was just a random occurrence. But yeah, I mean, if you get it right, like you're saying, if you get it right, but it was for a completely opposite reason than what you thought, it's almost, again, like you win, but you lose because it's like, I really have no idea what I'm talking. And that's what I ended up getting to, in the few amount of bets that I've placed in my life going up to Tahoe or being in Vegas for a weekend. It's the most humbling experience that I've had with sports. And, I'm sitting here in this chair right now. Like, I think I know more about sports than your everyday casual observer. Like, it really brought me back down to earth. And I was like, any illusion I had of being more knowledgeable or anything than anyone else is just completely false because I've gotten so many bets wrong that I was like, oh, this is a shoo-in to happen. And then parlays and all that stuff. It's gambling, betting in general is just, it's the most humbling experience for me as a sports fan.
I hear you loud and clear. And it is one of those things for anybody who's like, I know my stuff.
Yeah.
Like you might reevaluate if you bet on what you think is going to happen from time to time, because there are times where you just shrug your shoulders and you're like, nobody saw that coming.
Exactly.
I don't even feel badly about it. But there are times where you're like, how did I not see that coming?
Yeah, exactly. It's
overthinking. Staring me right in the face that I didn't see it. So there's no doubt about that. How about, speaking of predictions, how about tonight? A couple of impressive streaks. You got Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes. So Goff, he hasn't thrown an interception, Chris, in 324 pass attempts.
Oh boy.
That's
feel an announcer jinx coming here.
Yeah, it's the 5th longest streak of all time.
What? Jared Goff?
Jared Goff. Second half of the season, didn't throw a pick last year.
Wow.
You also have Patrick Mahomes in week 1. The dude is unconscious.
Ridiculous. I saw those numbers. They're ridiculous.
18 touchdowns, no picks. So, simple question.
It's ridiculous.
Either, neither, or both. Goff and Mahomes throwing a pick. What do you say?
Oh, that's so good. I will say, I'll say neither.
Neither.
Yeah. I'm not in love with Kansas City secondary, and without Chris Jones, like there's not going to be somebody in Jared Goff's face the entire day. I assume that the Lions game plan is going to be limit the Chiefs possessions, and a surefire way of maximizing Chiefs possessions would be throwing interceptions or turning the ball over. So I'd imagine they're going to have a fairly conservative game plan. It's also week 1, so you don't want to throw the kitchen sink at them week 1 and have all your best plays out on film this early in the season. So I'm gonna say neither of them throw an interception, and something tells me Patrick Mahomes is gonna continue his streak of being insane.
I'm gonna go with either. I'm teetering on both.
Okay,
but I can't quite go there just because. I mean, I see the recipe on both sides where you might not have Travis Kelce out there.
Good point.
For Mahomes.
And if I could update you on that real quick, I was scrambling during the break because Ian Rappaport is reporting that Travis Kelce is out tonight. He may give it another try before kickoff, but either way, the bone bruise shouldn't keep him out for long term.
Yeah, right. And that's the thing is if he doesn't play tonight, you get 10 days before the week 2 game, that sort of deal. But if you don't have Travis Kelce out there, it's not like he's got a who's who of weapons.
No, he's got a who's that of weapons.
Yeah, exactly. And then you look at Goff, we were just sort of clowning them where this is the A stage. This is the first game of the NFL season. All eyes are on you. And I don't know that he's going to have a clean sheet at the end of the game. And look, we all know fluky stuff happens too. It might not be something that's necessarily his fault. Ball gets knocked around at the line of scrimmage.
Goes off a receiver's helmet.
Yeah. One of your receivers goes butterfingers on you, and it's a fluky pick. I'm going either. I think there's at least one interception tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Again, it's so early in the season too. You're not in form or anything like that. Like you're still getting the cobwebs off. I don't think Patrick Mahomes. I'll go out on a limb and say he didn't play a snap in the preseason, so I'm pretty sure this is his first game action in a while. And yeah, without all the weapons he has, you could see him maybe trying to force the issue a couple times. And Patrick Mahomes isn't a perfect human. Like he throws interceptions as well. And if there's ever going to be a time to do it, it's probably going to be earlier in the season when he's still kind of getting a rapport with some of his teammates.
Man, that's the crazy thing. Big Red, he'll throw him out there.
Oh yeah.
Like Mahomes, he gets not a lot of preseason snaps, but he gets a handful. He's got a couple of series under his belt. He had against the Arizona Cardinals. He had that crazy pass where he was like jumping out of bounds.
Oh, I did see that. Yes, you're right. Yeah, he literally is like jumping out of bounds, but still crossbody and
crazy,
of course right
dude.
on the money.
It's insane what that guy can do.
It's ridiculous.
That's what I'm wondering tonight also. Think about this. As you said, a who's that of weapons to throw to. No Kelce, most likely.
Yeah.
And all these random dudes, it wouldn't surprise any of us if he still goes out there and balls out.
Oh, no. He's that good. I mean, that's the thing. And that's the risk or the game that the Chiefs are playing this year is Patrick Mahomes, like, how much can you elevate everybody? Because, do we even have to have, it's nice to have a Travis Kelce for sure, but do we have to spend money on that position where that could be the where the Chiefs kind of get the advantage? I mean, look at all the money that's being paid to receivers right now. I mean, if the Chiefs can avoid paying that can almost offset how much they're paying the quarterback. We were talking about how big of an advantage it is to not be paying the quarterback. But on the same token, nowadays, if you're not paying $28 to $30 million for a receiver, like your top end guys, that could be where you can maybe dole out some money to some other guys. So can Patrick Mahomes elevate those Sky Moores? Kadarius Toney has incredible talent, but can he stay on the field? And then the rest of the guys are more, can you prove to be an NFL receiver? If he can do that, the sky's the limit for Patrick Mahomes at that point. Like, I don't know how you slow him down if he can still succeed with no receivers.
So we're going to catch up with Michael Lombardi, former NFL GM, in about 20 minutes here, right? We'll catch up with Lombardi. But coming up next, Chris, we got to get to this. Who are the 3 most interesting and the 3 least interesting guys? We'll compare notes on that right around the corner. I'm Brian Noe. He's Chris Watkins at Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
When Joe Montana retired, he was, of course, regarded as what? The greatest of all time. Many in this area, of course, and bless you if you're one of them, still consider Joe Montana the greatest of all time. Whatever.
Is that what people from Boston sound like to you?
I mean, Forno's Forno.
It's Whitey and Watkins from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sactown Sports.
Your Sacramento State Hornets kick off the 2023 football season this Saturday, September 9th, with kickoff at 7 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Welcome back to Sactown Sports. I'm Brian No. He's Chris Watkins. You get down with any rock music over there, Chris? Like, how much guitar do you have in your playlist over there?
None. I'm sorry. Can't help you out there. I wish I could, but I ain't got nothing for you. I played Rock Band when I was a kid, like, you know, the video game Guitar Hero. So any of the songs from there, I got you. But yeah, besides that, pretty limited on the rock knowledge.
I can just picture you playing Guitar Hero.
Oh yeah.
And you're just like, I never heard this song before.
It was a great learning experience. Let me tell you, it was
anything with guitar in it, it's just brand new.
Yep, pretty much for the most part.
Goodness, Chris. I'm gonna get you up to speed.
I'm not helpful. I don't watch movies. I don't have like a good, you know, music history or anything like that. I can do sports, but yeah, I'm pretty. I'll even admit I'm pretty limited outside of that.
You know what? You're gonna be bumping Pantera and Slayer in a couple of weeks. You know, just based on my influence.
I haven't even heard Pantera before. Never even heard that word. Isn't that where Avatar is set?
You better stop.
It's unbelievable, Mike.
Oh, that's Pandora.
Pandora, yes.
Can you help this guy out,
I'll
please?
help him out.
Simone, you got some rock on your playlist?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I do a little, yeah. I mean, The Cure, we love. Yeah, I'm like a classic rock girl, so there's definitely like, yeah, your Aerosmiths are cool. Your, you know, I don't know.
Sure. All these things and more.
Pink Floyd's all right.
This is reminding me every time. This is so random, but every time I like my phone hooks up to a Bluetooth or anything like that, my phone will automatically just play yacht rock. I had never heard of that term before in my life, and now I'm just like now I know like exactly what songs are yacht rock genre. But like that was just a huge awakening to me. I'd never heard of the genre of yacht rock, but apparently, and I'm sure I sound incredibly ignorant right now, but it's apparently a really big thing. Who knew?
Is Led Zeppelin, is that yacht rock too? I don't know.
I wouldn't say.
Okay, good.
They have a team on that.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
I wouldn't go with it. That's a legitimate rock and roll, you know. That's an all-timer right there.
We're talking like Aftershock. I don't know if you are familiar with the Aftershock concert around, or it's like a huge festival around here, but I think that's like where the hardcore rock people go, right, Simone? Yeah? Okay. I'm getting a yes. Okay.
Yeah, she's got
gotcha.
That's where Simone hangs out.
Cool. Yeah, exactly.
No, stop.
By the way, I saw a video from the Rolling Stones this morning where it's their first album they've released in 18 years.
Wow.
And even if you're not a Stones fan, I think that's just awesome itself. Mick Jagger is 80.
That's insane.
Keith Richards, the guitarist, is 79. It wasn't that bad of a song. Angry, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good video. Have you ever seen the HBO series Euphoria? Have you seen that?
I've seen a couple episodes, yes. My girlfriend's huge on it. She really wants me to watch it, but I feel like it's going to give me tons of anxiety.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but one of the actresses from that series, Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She's featured in this video from the Stones.
Oh.
Their new song.
Okay. You have my interest.
Yeah. That's all right. So if no love for the Stones or guitar, maybe Sydney Sweeney.
Maybe Sydney Sweeney. That could definitely, that'll get me to tune in.
That's the ticket right
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah. She doesn't disappoint. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Good.
Chris.
All right. So you said Rolling Stones. Gotcha. I'll look into those guys.
Rolling Stones. The single is Angry.
Angry. Gotcha.
Pretty good. Pretty good. I watched.
I mean, that's
this one.
crazy
Pretty good
impressive.
song.
Like, people don't think about musicians like athletes where it's like they're in their prime, but like it is like it's kind of a muscle that you have to stretch. And if you haven't, you said 18 years since they're like that's incredibly impressive to make something that even like you're saying, it's like it's fine, like it's okay. Like that's crazy. That's crazy impressive.
It's the Stones' 31st studio album.
Wow.
And get this, they formed in 1962. So they're
they're
been
pumping
together
out,
for over 6 decades we're talking about here.
Yeah, but that's good production too, though. Like, I mean, there's artists nowadays. I mean, some, your Drakes or whatever will come out with like 2 a year, but there's some artists out there that are like every 4 or 5. Like Adele only has like 3 or 4. Not that she's the frame of reference here, but she's only got like 4 or 5 albums, and it's like she's been around for 10 to 15 years at this point.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Stones with 31 right there.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I'm going to throw a couple other numbers at you, football-wise here.
Okay.
Chris. So the quarterback series on Netflix.
Loved it.
Peyton Manning is still trying to find 3 guys that will be featured in season 2 of quarterback. And he's getting the shaft. He's getting turned down left and right. These guys don't want to do it. Matthew Stafford doesn't want to do it. Jalen Hurts doesn't want to do it. Quarterback after quarterback is saying no. Here's the question. Specifically for this series, who would be the 3 most interesting quarterbacks to chronicle for an entire season? And who would be the 3 least interesting? Let's start positively.
Yeah.
If Peyton Manning's phone rings and he hears from these 3 quarterbacks, which would cause him to do like the Tiger Woods fist pump? Like, season 2 is going to be amazing.
Can't wait.
Who do you think would be the most interesting?
I think the first name that came to my mind, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, obviously, but he was in season 1, so that doesn't count. I went with Lamar Jackson here. I really think we don't know a lot about, I don't hear much about Lamar's personal life or really much outside of football. I mean, he's really an incredibly unique player. And I obviously tons of people love Lamar. I would just like to know more about Lamar Jackson and how he operates with his team. I mean, that's an incredibly successful team that he's got there in Baltimore. And I think I would love to see him chronicled.
I like that one. That's a good selection right there.
Thank you.
Who else do you have on your list?
I also, who was it here? Sorry, I like my frame of reference is looking at NFL, like just logo. Oh, there it is. It's just looking at NFL logos, and then it just like pops in my head.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson. After everything that happened this offseason, I think he can kind of play that Kirk Cousins role where it's almost like an image reclamation project where, Russell, even, I don't know if you saw Sean Payton's comments to him the other day about why are you trying to kiss babies? Like, just go be a quarterback. Where Sean Payton is he's on a run with his quotes recently. But
where was this when he was an analyst?
That's what I said. Literally when he was like, sorry, I had my Fox hat on. I was like, you weren't a good analyst.
I know.
You were very vanilla, very soft. So, Russell Wilson. I mean, it's almost the complete opposite of what I said about Lamar. We definitely know too much about Russell Wilson off the field, but I think doing a little bit of humanizing, if that's possible for Russell Wilson, would be really great for his image. I just think that, to Sean Payton's point, he's a little bit too commercialized, a little bit too just not a real person. It feels like, the Broncos country, let's ride, like all that, the Sierra being his wife. It just feels like it's very produced, everything about Russell Wilson. And I would love to see if they could maybe try and get like a very raw, real Russell Wilson. I think that would be really intriguing.
I do too. I think that could definitely work. Initially, I said Aaron Rodgers would be huge. The only thing that makes me pause is because he was just featured on Hard Knocks.
Right. Yeah.
Just
and it's pretty much
featured on-
the same thing, except for the whole season.
Yeah, but I mean, when you get the footage throughout the year, if you get really a peek behind the curtain
right
at the Rodgers household, and
right,
where you can't get him on the phone, and well, I know he's moved now, but right, like I don't know if he has cell phone service at this place too.
I doubt it. I very much doubt it. He gives me very big off the grid vibes.
I think Rodgers would still be a huge get.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, it's got to be on the list. I would also say this, man. Like, I thought about going with the rookie quarterback, which I think could be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go with Brock Purdy.
Yes.
I'm not looking for huge personality. I'm just looking for a really compelling storyline to keep your attention throughout the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Brock Purdy could be that guy. Mr. Irrelevant to, hey, he was hurt last year. He's trying to win a Super Bowl, how the season unfolds. I think that could be interesting. And I'll throw one other one at you. I would go with Dak Prescott.
Sure.
Again, not Mr. Excitement, but America's team threw the 2 interceptions against the Niners last year. All the scrutiny, all the pressure. Now Trey Lance is lurking over his shoulder.
Yeah.
I think Dak Prescott would be a pretty interesting watch on this series.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a great call because of exactly what you mentioned there. I think the Trey Lance wrinkle and all of this now has turned this story into something that I would love to see for the entirety of the season. Just, how Dak truly feels about it, though I think he did give us a good scope into his thoughts on it. But, him and Jerry's relationship, all of that, I think – and just the pressures of playing for the Cowboys. Like, I don't know if that's really ever been explored. The Cowboys are a massive fan base, and just all the pressure that goes with playing for a team that has so many eyes on it every single week. Like, I don't think we fully understand how much pressure comes with that.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Brock Purdy. Some people are going to laugh at me and be like, well, who is this guy? What's he talking about? But facing adversity.
Yeah.
I know that he got injured, and that's certainly adversity, but that's not the adversity I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like Dak, throwing a couple of key interceptions that lose the game.
Right.
How does he respond to that?
Right.
Because we haven't seen that in the NFL yet, and it's going to happen. It happens to everybody.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what the selling point for viewers for these shows are. That's why, I think there was a lot less interest the second on Hard Knocks this season. They said, we're not going to show cutting players. It's because that's almost like that's at this point, especially like that's what we want. We want the drama. We want like the kind of the negativity, but like seeing how these guys react when there's a bad game. Like, is he in the locker room crying, or how does he even bounce back from it on Monday? Does it take him a couple games or a couple days to kind of get over the loss? We haven't really seen that part of what it takes to be a quarterback either.
You know what, Chris, this is what we got to see. And we'll get back to the three least interesting subjects here at the end of the hour. But I want to see a series that is unsanitized.
Yes.
I don't want just the best portions of stuff. I want the if Russell Wilson came out with a documentary, it would be nauseating.
Oh, it would be terrible. It would be so bad.
And I love Russ, the player, but you know how that documentary would be. And I've seen too many of these things, like the Johnny Manziel one.
Right.
It's good, but it's still sanitized.
Yes. Where's the beef? Like, where is the stuff that I want there? Yeah.
Right.
Where's the juice?
The Florida Gators one is really good, but again, it's very, very sanitized.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I had such high hopes for that Florida Gators doc, and I didn't even watch it, but one of our producers here told me, he was like, it's just pretty much told from Urban Meyer's side. Like, they don't mention all the stuff that you would want to hear. Like, Percy Harvin's not even mentioned in it. They barely mention Aaron Hernandez and just all the going on of what happened with that team. I mean, there was like the most arrests of any college team in history with that group. And all that stuff was just kind of put to the side.
All right, coming up next, Michael Lombardi, former GM in the NFL, got a new book out. We're all geeked about week 1 and beyond. We'll compare notes with him. It's Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open. open. Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted. Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner.
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
At Boot Barn, we're driven by everything the cowboy boot stands for. The reliable communities of the West, the hardened values of the cowboy, and the unshakable spirit of all who lead a tenacious lifestyle. Justin Boots capture these Western ideals in every pair. Their handcrafted boots are an invitation into the continuing story of the West, open to all who dream of untamed lands and endless Western skies. Justin Boots at Boot Barn.
At Bank of America, there's one question we ask our customers to learn what matters most. It's not, how much money do you have? It's not even, how much money would you like to have? No, our question isn't about money. It's about you and what you want to achieve. Because that's what's most important. So, what would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Bank of America N.A., member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Hagen Oaks wants you to know about the exciting new T-Series irons from Titleist, offering effortless speed, exceptional feel, and precise control. Working with tour pros and dedicated amateurs, Titleist T-Series are available in 4 different models. The fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Day for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Come out to the Marysville Stampede, happening September 16th and 17th at Cotton Rosser Arena. Get your tickets at MarysvilleStampede.com.
Get ready for a night with Cole Swindell. The 2023 ACM Song of the Year winner hits Heart Health Park at Cal Expo in Sacramento, Saturday, September 9th for the CITP2 Fest. And Cole's bringing some friends like Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, Matt Stell, and more. Tickets start at $40 at CITPFest.com.
There's fun for the whole family at Sutter Health Park. Join the River Cats every Saturday with the purchase of the Family Fun Pack. Starting at only $89, the Family Fun Pack includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, and 4 exclusive River Cats hats. Take your fan experience to the next level with the Governor's Club Family Pack and enjoy the post-game fireworks show from the field. Make your plans to join the fun at rivercats.com/family pack.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Happy Thursday. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. The wait is over and football is back. The reigning champs, Kansas City Chiefs, open up the season hosting the Detroit Lions tonight from Arrowhead Stadium. This afternoon, we learned that Chiefs star tight end Travis Kelce is out for tonight's game with a hyperextended knee that he suffered earlier this week in practice. You can listen to tonight's game with pregame beginning at 4:30 and kickoff at 5:20 right here on Sactown Sports or on your Sactown Sports app. San Francisco 49ers and Nick Bosa have agreed to terms on a 5-year, $170 million contract extension, making the all-pro edge rusher the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history. We, of course, will carry all 49ers games this season beginning Sunday with coverage kicking off at 9 a.m.
Let's get it.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Please welcome in Michael Lombardi to the show right now.
It is Sactown Sports. Welcome back. I'm Brian Noe. He's Chris Watkins. Pleased to welcome in Michael Lombardi, former GM. He has a new book, Football Done Right, setting the record straight on coaches, players, and the history of the NFL. We will definitely dive into that. Michael, good afternoon, man. I want to know, when you're watching football tonight, what's typically your drink of choice when an NFL game is going on?
My drink of choice is probably going to be water. I have no volume on. I don't listen to anything. I just watch. You know, Sherlock Holmes taught me a long time ago from reading his books. You have to see and observe, and sometimes you get a little bit of a perception from the announcers. I'm sure Doug understands this. You know, it's a way to where you kind of get your mind tainted in the other way. So I try to block out all the noise. I watch the game. I don't need them to tell me what's happening. So it's quiet. I got water, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
Michael, with Kelsey out tonight, or seemingly out tonight, to me it really is going to highlight the Chiefs' kind of lack of quality at wide receiver. How concerned are you this season for that lack of quality that the Chiefs have?
You know, I think I think we don't think preseason matters, but when you really study preseason, not on individual basis, but on team basis, you can learn a lot. And this summer, Mahomes threw 17 passes. He completed 12 of them, and he averaged 7.1 yards per attempt. Last year, and Kelsey didn't play at all. Last year in the preseason, Kelsey had 3 catches. Mahomes threw 27 passes, and they averaged 8.6 yards. So the point of reference here is if Kelsey isn't on the field, the game's harder. They don't have Tyreek Hill. They don't have Hardeman, who people worried about his vertical speed. They don't have Juju Smith-Schuster, who was second in the team with 78 catches and 101 targets. So these guys are going to have to prove themselves. They're going to have to step up and mother may I, can I make plays? And I don't think any team is going to be fearful of them when Kelsey's not on the field. Kelsey is not a tight end. I'm going to break the news to you. He's not a tight end because the second tight end on the Chiefs roster can't replace him. Kelsey's a legitimate big-time receiver. And when you take him off the field, there's no one else that could play there, and it becomes very hard.
Man, you look at how much it differs in the preseason, Michael, where you mentioned the Chiefs with Andy Reid's approach, playing some starters, Mike Tomlin with the Steelers, and then there's some other coaches that are just like, nope, no starters. As it relates to week 1, do you have a preference which you prefer there?
I'm from the school of, look, football's a sport that requires contact. You know, it's a physical sport. Vince Lombardi once said football, dancing's a contact sport. Football's a physical sport, right? And so you gotta be practice physicality. And it's no different than a boxer, right? Do you think any boxer's going to win a match if he doesn't spar before it? Of course not. It's going to be very challenging, and it's hard. Football's a hard game. So I'm from the Parcells school and Belichick, where, we're going to practice our guys. We're going to get them ready for pad level, for physicality, and get them mentally and physically tough for the grind because it's a long season. And football is a game of fundamentals. Football is a game of execution. And if you don't practice execution against the people you have to play against, it's going to be hard to execute effectively. And I think that's the key. And so, everybody has different approaches. I like what Andy Reid does. I like what Mike Tomlin does. I like what Bill Belichick does. Now, when you can work against other teams in a joint practice and you're getting that same look, New England went to Green Bay and they ran a zillion plays in 2 days up there. They might have had 300 plays, good plays against good players. That's great. And when you get that kind of work, it's awesome.
Now that the Bosa deal is done for San Francisco, do you think that any of the training camp drama or all the noise that has happened, do you think any of that will impact what we actually see on the field?
No, I don't think. I think it's over with. I think probably a lot of the players in the 49er locker room knew that, Brock Purdy was going to be the starter. They knew that Sam Darnold was going to be the backup. They went and watched practice. I mean, the media made a lot out of it. Rarely does the backup quarterback generate all the attention, right? I mean, how often do you ever see that? And the reason it happened unfairly is because of what they paid to get Trey Lance and how it didn't work out. But I credit them for moving on. Now the focus is on winning, and that's all that matters. They knew Bosa was going to come in. I mean, look, Bosa, that contract isn't a hard contract to do. It's expensive, but you can never overpay for great. What happens to you, you get in trouble with NFL teams is when you overpay for good.
He's Michael Lombardi, former NFL GM, joining us here on Sactown Sports. I'm going to apologize because this is a nightmarish type question here, Michael. If you only have one team that you can watch in week one with the sound down and water's on the house, right? We're going to sweeten the deal a little bit, but you can only watch one team. Who's that one team that you have to see in week one above all others?
Well, it's an easy answer for me. I have two sons. Both of them work for the Las Vegas Raiders. One's the offensive coordinator. The other one's the assistant receiver coach. So I'm watching the Raider game without a doubt because my blood, and I'm rooting for them fully. I won't be objective. I'll admit that. But if you took that out of it, if you took that away and you said, what team are you most fascinated with seeing in terms of how they play and how if they've improved or what they look like, I would watch Green Bay because I want to see what they're going to look like after Aaron Rodgers has left. I want to see Jordan Love. I think they're really good on defense, and I think they have a really good team. And if Jordan Love plays good, I think they can be a playoff type team.
You mentioned both your sons on the Raiders staff on the offensive side as well. What do you expect realistically from that Raiders offense this year with Jimmy G now under center?
I mean, look, I think the Raiders offense was really good last year. I think when you watched them play, and this isn't because my son was there, I think they were in. How many games were they in that they couldn't close it down? I mean, they moved the football. Other than the Jacksonville game, they moved the football. The New Orleans game, they moved the football. I think, to me, they got to find a way to win close games. Statistically on his career, it was Derek Carr's worst year. And maybe that was because it was a completely new system. It wasn't the West Coast. It was Josh McDaniels. But they will move the football. They've got a great running back in Josh Jacobs. They've got they have one of the best receivers in football in Adams. They've got Jacoby Myers. I think their offensive line has really improved. If you talk to anybody who practiced against them for the 49ers, I think the 49ers would sign off on what I'm saying to you. So I think, to me, it really comes down to, have they improved enough defensively? Look, the problem with the Raiders were they took over a team that people perceived was a playoff team, when in reality that was kind of a fortunate playoff team. They were a game away from being eliminated, and their defense just wasn't good enough. And so I think it's going to take some time. When you lose so many draft picks that the Raiders have lost, through different variants, through draft bad picks, through a car accident, all those things, it takes time to overcome that.
No, there's no doubt about that. How about this new book, Michael, Football Done Right, Setting the Record Straight on Coaches, Players, and History of the NFL. I think that's really interesting, those three categories where you're on the inside, right? You've been on the inside for a long time. For people that haven't been on the inside, which area is it? Coaching, players, the history is commonly thought of to be right, where you're like, no, that's actually not right. Which of those three do you think we need to be straightened out on the most?
I think a little bit of both, right? I think all three, right? Let's take coaches, for example. Let's just take coaches, and what they and where they are. So there are over 500 men who have called themselves NFL head coaches. Over 500, and only 9 of them have achieved 200 wins. Only 9 out of over 500, correct? So, how is Marty Schottenheimer not in the Hall of Fame? He's the 8th winningest coach in NFL history. He's got a 61% winning percentage. Yes, I understand he didn't go to the Super Bowl, but does that really matter? George Allen went to 1 Super Bowl and lost, and he's in the Hall of Fame. He had a 71 winning percentage. Okay, now we're making the rules based on situations. Let's have a standard operating procedure on what guys do. You win 200 games, you get in the Hall of Fame, period, end of story. Let's not discuss it any further. Dan Reeves, he's won 190 games. And when you count his playoff wins, he's got 205. He can't get a sniff. He drafted 2 Hall of Fame players, John Elway, Steve Atwater, and multiple other guys. Can't get in the Hall of Fame. So it started with an injustice for some of the coaches, right? George Seifert, everybody says, well, Seifert, he was just riding the wave of the 49ers. Well, he won Super Bowls, and his winning percentage was incredible. Now, I know he went to Carolina, and part of the book I talk about is sometimes your second stint kills your first stint. So the coaches, they need a criteria. Then I think we've lost respect for the people that have impacted the game. Like, we know John Madden's effect on the game. And he's in the Hall of Fame because he won 76% of his games. But besides that, his influence then. Brett Musburger, I mean, if it wasn't for him and Jimmy the Greek talking about betting, this game wouldn't have advanced as much. And the great Howard Cosell. I mean, Musburger and Cosell never won the Pete Rozelle Award for the best PR person that has helped the league in their careers. And let me say this. On Monday night in America in 1971, when Monday Night Football came out, there were more bowling leagues around this country than anything. And by the time Monday Night Football took off, bowling leagues became extinct. People stayed home to watch Monday Night Football. They stayed home to listen to Cosell. And then we talk about the players. Sterling Sharp belongs in the Hall of Fame, had an incredible career. Unfortunately, only 8 years. It got cut short by a spinal injury. But he can't get traction because he had a short career. Oh, but it's okay for Terrell Davis to get in the Hall of Fame, and he had a short career. Now, how is that, right? It's okay for Tony Baselli to get in the Hall of Fame. I'm not arguing it, but why he had a short career for an offensive lineman, and he got in. So I just think there's a lot of double standards. There's a lot of politics that I try to bring out in the book. I'm not trying to take anybody out of the Hall of Fame, but I'm trying to get people in. What happens is guys, it becomes that meeting, who gets in. It's not objective. People have bias and agenda. And I think it's time that people see the true story.
No, that's great stuff. We'll look forward to that book, man. I love how opinionated you are. By the way, when you drink water tonight, is it Dasani? Are you hardcore with your opinions on that?
It's great. It's the great tap water from Ocean City, New Jersey here. You know, it's water I grew up with. So it makes me happy here. But no, I mean, look, I got to talk about it on my show, The Lombardi Line on VSiN every day. And so I got to pay attention. I mean, I would like to drink Sinatra Select, Jack Daniels, but I can't do that because I have to pay attention.
No doubt, man. Well, thanks for the time tonight, Michael, and hope you enjoy the game tonight in week 1 altogether, man.
No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Anytime.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Good stuff. There he is, Michael Lombardi, former GM in the NFL. New book, Football Done Right, setting the record straight on coaches, players, and history of the NFL. Great stuff right there. All right, coming up next, we'll get Chris's thoughts on water. Right? Does he have a
yes, I've got a lot of takes.
That's right. And then the 3 least interesting quarterback subjects. We'll get to that as well. That's coming up here. I'm Brian Noe. He's Chris Watkins at Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, so much of the A's future success will depend on the development of their young pitching. Take the right-hander Mason Miller, who back in May, in his 3rd Major League start, no-hit the Mariners for 7 innings. Well, he's spent the last 3 months on the IL, but he's coming back, pitching out of the bullpen here in September. If he can pitch well and he's healthy, that'll buoy his chances of rejoining the A's rotation in 2024. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts report at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Select Twin Peaks for your fantasy football draft party. Stay cool under pressure with 29-degree draft beers, plus a $50 bonus card for the commish, and an additional $5 bonus card for every drafter. Visit TwinPeaksRestaurant.com/fantasy draft for more info.
Everything that you'd ever seen with Miranda Lambert on it, I have my finger on the pulse of what it is. Idlewind, I've seen every article of clothing. I've spent hours and hours sending inspirations. I've sent clothes that I love and fabrics, and I'm involved in every single garment that you see. It's important to me that it is an extension of my music, and it's an extension of who I am. I always want it to stay as honest as my music. Idlewind at Boot Barn.
Your Sacramento State Hornets kick off the 2023 football season this Saturday, September 9th, with kickoff at 7 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
Innovation Refunds does not provide tax or legal advice. We work with an independent network of tax professionals and will share information with them to evaluate and process your claims. Terms and conditions apply. Ty is a paid spokesman.
I'm Ty Burrell, actor and small business owner. You can trust Innovation Refunds with your small business's ERC claim because of their SOC 2 Type 1 security compliance. Without this, how can you be sure a company can protect your information? It's not like here on the radio, where all you need to be secure is a sensor button. My password to my bank account is Ty's cool password 1. Uh-oh. Luckily, Innovation Refunds is more reliable. Go to innovationrefunds.com or call 1-843-REFUNDS to get started.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Whether you're shopping for your favorite Honda online or in person, you'll see why Stockton Honda is the #1 Honda dealer in Northern California and why buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Visit in person or online at StocktonHonda.com, where your favorite Honda is ready for you.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916 Sactown Sports.
Welcome back to Sactown Sports. I'm Brian No. He's Chris Watkins here. So, water. One of the things I love about you, Chris, you're an opinionated guy. You know, you're not a fence sitter. So, Michael Lombardi, former NFL GM, he's big on New Jersey tap water.
Yeah.
That's his drink of choice during NFL games.
I disagree. That's
where do you stand on water?
Tap water? Absolutely not. Tap water's always a no for me. Like,
always?
Always. It's just like, there's something about it. Like, I swear it just like almost has like a thickness to it that just feels
thickness.
Yeah, like it really does.
Textures.
Maybe it's more just like the fact that it's not cold. Like, you know, cold water is just incredibly refreshing. Something about tap water, you can like taste the metal in it. I don't know. Something you know, I'm not a big like Dasani, Arrowhead. Those taste different. Though I have heard people have very strong opinions on those, but I really do taste like the metal in
What
tap
kind of water do you drink then, if not the bottled selections that you just listed?
I mean, usually I'll go fridge, which like is at least, you know, there's it's like
I call it door water. That's what I call it. Door water.
Door water.
Door water. I've never heard it called that before. I do drink a lot of sparkling water.
One of my good friends laughed at me and was like, door water? That's what you call it? I'm like, yeah, it's water from the door. Why wouldn't I call it door water?
You definitely can't say that just like casually. Like no one's going to know what you're talking about. I wouldn't even like assume fridge water is what you're talking about if you were to say door water. Never heard
That's how
that before.
I get down. If I do, I'm not too particular with bottled water, but I used to hate Dasani. Room temperature Dasani it's like a torture type situation there.
Yeah.
It's definitely a punishment. But cold Dasani, totally fine. Totally great.
That's how I feel. I feel like cold water in general, like I can't really discriminate on any of them. Like they're all fine. As long as it's cold, like I'll drink it and it'll be great. I mean,
I think I can tell the difference. I did a taste test. I was doing radio in Portland. And I swear I can taste the difference between like Pure Life and Dasani or what I really can. But these jerks, they poured it into a plastic cup and they're like, go ahead. What is that? I'm like, I don't know. I can't tell that way. But if you give me the bottles, I can tell a difference. There's clearly a difference.
I'm going to have to try that. I've never even thought of doing that, but that's actually like a great way to just spend a random day. Like I really
we should run it as like a content thing.
Yeah,
that would be a lot of fun.
As a content thing would definitely be the smartest way of going about it. That's actually a really good idea.
See, they thought the Dasani bottle would give it away. And they had
like
a point.
The shape of it?
Yeah,
sure.
Like even if you're blindfolded and right? Like so that's why they use the plastic cup. And I'm like, that's too far. It's too far. You know?
You're tampering with the evidence. You know, you're tampering with the integrity of the water.
No, it's exactly
right. That's not okay.
Okay, so we got to shift it back to this quarterback series on Netflix. So Peyton Manning, he said, a cheesy pun here. It's the 2-minute drill. We're down to the wire here. We're trying to get 3 new subjects for season 2 of quarterback. Everybody's saying no, Chris.
I know.
So here's the question. If the phone rings and he's like, okay, I guess we've got so-and-so. He's a warm body and he's a starter in the NFL.
Play quarterback.
Right? Like, who would he be the least interested for him to hear a yes from? Like, they're going to be on quarterback here for season 2.
First off, I'd just like to say I have no idea why nobody wants to do this. I don't understand. Like, they're using distraction as an excuse, but Patrick Mahomes quite literally won MVP and the Super Bowl while being documented for this show. So I don't want to hear that as an excuse. I just feel like this is good PR and like it's really not that disruptive to your life. Like I'm tired of that excuse. The 3 guys that I would say the least interesting, Sam Howell for the Commanders. Just got no history with him. And frankly, I don't even know if he's going to be a quarterback the entirety of the season. It's kind of the same story with Josh Dobbs as well. Yeah. I have no interest in seeing Josh Dobbs. Like you said, he's just kind of a warm body that is a quarterback. And then the last one is Daniel Jones. Again, just does nothing for me at all. No sex appeal, nothing. Just bland, boring, and on a team that'll probably be around 500 or 8 to 9 wins, I guess.
My list is very similar. I didn't go with Josh Dobbs because I almost feel like that's cheating.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's
like Arizona's going to be so irrelevant. This dude, he's a great dude, and he's super smart.
Sure.
And he'd be easy to root for, but Arizona's just going to be so bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Desmond Ridder.
Sure.
With the Falcons.
Yeah.
Because this doesn't do a whole lot for you. There's not a whole lot of juice, not a whole lot of pizzazz. I wonder how good the Falcons are going to be. They've got a chance to be all right, but Desmond Ridder just doesn't do a whole lot for me. If you ran out those 3 names, like 3 of these 4, whether it's Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, and Daniel Jones, buckle up for season 2 of quarterback. I'm like, I'm good.
No, thanks. Yeah, that's like, I'm just not going to watch at that point. There's no way.
I'll just go and get some door water.
Exactly. How about Lombardi saying that pretty much Lombardi saying that Monday Night Football essentially killed bowling leagues? That's incredible. That is
and
incredible.
He listens with the no sound.
No sound. That's hardcore. Like
I love it.
I can't do that. I just can't do it.
ESPN giving all this money out. Tony Romo getting money. Michael Lombardi's like, no thanks.
He's like, no, I'm out. I'm good.
Yeah.
Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, I don't care.
Don't care. All right, coming up next. The stats with this player compared to the numbers without this guy are staggering. That is on the way. I'm Brian Noe. He is Chris Watkins at Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
The first ever NBA in-season tournament schedule is out, and our Kings have some great matchups, including national TV games against the Spurs and Warriors.
And Sacramento has won. They have risen to the occasion. And let me tell you, if you can't sense it, this place is absolutely nuts.
Listen to every game on the home of the Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought them. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store. Come in now for a free arch support fitting and test walk.
Experience a golf tournament as refined as you are. The Fortinet Championship returns to Silverado Resort September 14th through the 17th. Be there as the best of Napa meets the best of the PGA Tour with wine experiences, rockin' shows, and incredible golf. It's like this weekend was made for you. The Fortinet Championship, September 14th through the 17th. For tickets, go to FortinetChampionship.com.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life and your choices with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age, but there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heating and Air. It's the end of summer blowout on all their systems. Right now, $2,500 off full systems, as low as $34 a week. And now American Energy Heating and Air offering a free Wi-Fi smart thermostat of your choice on high efficiency units. Look, the uncomfortable becomes comfortable with American Energy Heating and Air. They've been around since 1981, making the greater Sacramento area proud with an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And as always, their goal is to exceed your expectations, exceed them of the heating and air industry, valuing the customer experience and making your home comfortable. It's that simple. Go to American Energy Heating and Air and get yourself a free Wi-Fi smart thermostat of your choice on high efficiency units.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Get ready for a night with Cole Swindell. 2023 ACM Song of the Year winner hits Heart Health Park at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Saturday, September 9th for the CITP2 Fest. And Cole's bringing some friends like Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, Matt Stell, and more. Tickets start at $40 at CITPFest.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. Happy Thursday. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. The wait is over and football is back. The reigning champs, Kansas City Chiefs, open up the season hosting the Detroit Lions tonight from Arrowhead Stadium. This afternoon, we learned that Chiefs star tight end Travis Kelce is out for tonight's game with a hyperextended knee that he suffered earlier this week in practice. You can listen to tonight's game with pregame beginning at 4:30 and kickoff at 5:20 right here on Sactown Sports or on your Sactown Sports app. San Francisco 49ers and Nick Bosa have agreed to terms on a 5-year, $170 million contract extension, making the All-Pro edge rusher the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history. We, of course, will carry all 49ers games this season beginning Sunday with coverage kicking off at 9 a.m.
Let's get it.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Last 30 minutes of the show. Let's get into it right now.
Welcome back to Sactown Sports. I'm Brian Noe. He's Chris Watkins. By the way, Chris, do you know the drop that Simone plays in her update where it's "Let's get it"?
I don't know the
place
origin.
The
no.
song?
No.
I don't either. I'm not sure.
Ooh, neither of you guys know, huh?
Yeah, who is it, Simone?
Little Migos,
Amigos.
little Takeoff, little Quavo.
Do you know what
No?
song it is, Simone?
Yeah, it's
What
called Hotel Lobby.
Hotel Lobby.
Huh. No.
Let's get it.
Unfamiliar. I'm familiar with the Migos, but
There's always free game with me, so
yeah.
there you go.
Huh.
Okay, so after the
Let's get it.
show, are you going to Google Hotel Lobby?
Yes, I got
And
you.
also, let's go
The
with
Rolling Stones song.
Yeah, you're going to go with Angry from the Stones.
Yep.
And let's throw in something else just to be a little eclectic.
Why not?
I want you to go with Resurrection Man from Lamb of God.
Whoa.
That's what I want you to
Okay.
go with. That's my
Resurrection
recommendation
Man.
for you. Yeah.
Wait, Resurrection by Man of God. I'm sorry, not
No,
Resurrection.
no. Lamb of God.
Lamb.
Lamb.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Resurrection Man from Lamb.
Gotcha.
God.
Okay. You understand the confusion there.
And I started you off, I feel like in the shallow end. They're not going a million miles per hour in that song. So I feel like I'm easing you in.
Yeah, I appreciate that because sometimes, in my radio past, I when I worked in promotions, I did have to go to. I think I mentioned Aftershock, that rock concert or a festival that they have here in Sacramento that's massive.
Yeah.
And I heard one of the acts, and it was on one of the main stages, so I assume it was one of the bigger artists. And I've never really felt the energy that I felt in that moment. Like just the second the guitar, and I just felt like a rush of mixture of anxiety and excitement and just a mob of people. I could just feel it was just a really unique energy that I don't know if I want to feel it again, but I'm glad that I felt it so that I understand, I think I have an understanding to what those people are looking for. I think it is a little bit of an adrenaline junkie kind of feeling where it really just gets your blood, pumping and I get it. It's just, I don't know if it's for me.
So it makes me think of two things, Chris. The first thing is I never understand this. Every metal show I've ever gone to, the guitar tech will go out on stage and just go dun, 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 and the crowd is yeah! And I'm like, what are you cheering for? It's the
just
guitar
noises.
tech. Yeah. So that's the running joke. Yeah, any show that a couple of my friends go to, we, just as a joke, go even crazier for the guitar tech because we think it's so stupid. Yeah.
That was the most insane thing I've ever heard.
The other thing it makes me think of, this was a long time ago. I had just a flashback. But Jada Pinkett Smith.
What?
She was singing. I was at some festival. I can't even tell you what it was. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And she was singing for this pretty hardcore band.
Really?
Yeah. And she was going for it. And I kid you not, Will Smith was on the stage. He was in the backstage area, but you could totally tell it was Will Smith.
Now, what era of Will Smith are we talking about here? Is this Fresh Prince? Is this Independence Day?
I'm pretty sure this
Wild Wild West.
It had to be after Fresh Prince.
Okay.
It was I don't know if it was at the peak, but it was definitely movie career.
Okay,
Will
maybe
Smith
a Men in
around this
Black
time.
era. Maybe, that was still
I couldn't
pretty
tell
early.
you. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
But it's got to be after Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
and he was there supporting Jada, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
But it was like, you could almost tell Will was like, I'm here for my girl.
Yeah, he's like out of his element.
What the hell this is? But
I can appreciate Jada is like such an interesting lady. Like she seems like she's just kind of marching to her own beat. And that it shouldn't surprise me, but I am a little surprised that she would be involved in like, so some real heavy rock stuff. Though, she's in Matrix, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah,
like
that's
she kind of has a little bit of a different side than I think what you might anticipate off first glance.
Absolutely. I had even more respect for her.
Yeah. Oh,
after
absolutely.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
It was great. Okay. So Nick Bosa, 5-year extension, $170 million, highest paid defensive player in NFL history. And get these numbers, Chris. San Francisco's pressure rate with Bosa on the field, first in the league. Their pressure rate without Nick Bosa on the field, 31st.
Oh my gosh.
Second to dead last.
Ooh.
Isn't that crazy? First and then near the bottom with or without Nick Bosa.
I mean, that's one of those things where we were talking about with Chris Jones earlier. You just take that number and you show it to the 49ers front office and you're like, this is literally what you're going to be paying me for. If you have any trepidation about, is 34 million, is that too much? No, like that number right there shows you need this guy. Like you have to have this. You are not who you think you are without this guy. And that was really the big question that I was, if Nick Bosa didn't play, it would have been, to me, the most intriguing thing to look at is, all right, if he wasn't there, how good is this 49ers defensive line? I mean, they're definitely improved with bringing on Javon Hargrave, and, Eric Armstead is a fantastic player. But are they, as a unit without Nick Bosa, like, are they league average? Are they around 15, 16 in the league? Or are they, like that number suggests, would it have been, one of the worst D lines in the league? And I don't think it would have been that, but they're definitely, with Nick Bosa, I would say a top 2 or 3 defensive line, no doubt. And that'll definitely help them cover up some of their other issues in the secondary that could really plague this team.
You know what this makes me think of is, look, it's a smart deal by the Niners. Nick Bosa is that guy. Yeah. He's a stud. Their defense is obviously way different with him than without him. But what it makes me think of is that it's funny that we only act like running back is the position where regression takes place. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It doesn't happen with any other position or any other specific player. It's just gone too far. And look, Nick Bosa is a young dude. I don't expect his production to like fall off a cliff or anything like that. But he has reached this high level. It's not going to be easy to sustain that type of pace, And so I don't know. I just think it's interesting. This offseason has been, these running backs, they regress and there's possible injury issues. And it's like, is that the only position where that takes place? Absolutely. Even quarterbacks. You mentioned Lamar Jackson a little bit earlier in the show.
Yeah.
Think about the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. His numbers are down. His injuries are up. There hasn't been any regression there. Like stylistically, he approaches the game in a way where you can see regression. Right. So I'm just pushing back on as if running back is the only position where regression takes place.
No, for sure. I mean, you can look at Bosa's position. How about edge rusher? Like a guy like Khalil Mack, how quickly he kind of fell from grace. And, Jadeveon Clowney is somebody who, he's getting a little long in the tooth. And Zadarius Smith, there's tons of guys who, once you kind of lose that step or that half step, even for some guys, like, you have to figure out other ways of getting there. And I think it's really, really tough as a defensive lineman, especially with how much more athletic it feels like offensive tackles are getting these days. Like you really aren't afforded the luxury of losing that half a step. And Nick Bosa is, you mentioned, he's still young in his career. I think he's 25 or 26 years old, but there's no guarantee that by the end of this contract, he's going to be the Nick Bosa that deserves $34 million, though. Who knows what the market will be standing at that point.
Yeah, and it's interesting, too, man, when you think about Nick Bosa tore his ACL. And look, I know it's the 2020s we're talking about here. It's not the 1960s anymore.
Right.
But for him to regain his form and then some, that's really impressive, because there have been other positions where, think about Deshaun Watson comes to mind when he had his torn ACL, and we're like, is he going to be the same guy? And you think about Nick Bosa and what he asks his body to do to be as successful as he is and to respond from that serious injury the way he has.
Yeah.
Dude is an absolute freak.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, 100%. The way he takes care of his body is almost second to none. I mean, that was really the funny thing, I guess, if you want to use that word, about this contract negotiation, was it didn't matter if it ended up going to the last minute, because you just knew Nick Bosa was going to be in prime shape. Like, there was just no doubt that Shanahan joked the other day that the only way he wouldn't play is if he had a beer belly and had been eating chips for the past month. And, there was just no way that Nick Bosa wasn't going to be in top physical shape. Like, the way that him and his brother both take care of their business on and off the field, like they were going to be, or he was going to be ready week 1, no matter what.
All right, so coming up next, it is going to be a tidal wave of predictions.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking like Floyd Mayweather.
This is almost going to be like The Purge, where it's like I almost don't even want like any of this to like come back on me. Like, I kind of want this to just maybe be like a little 15-minute segment where any and all things said, is just completely legal and can't be used against you in the court of law.
That's a good way to say it. Recording this next segment is strictly forbidden.
Yes.
Okay?
There you go.
It could absolutely come back to bite us.
Please.
That's on the way here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf.
It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa
on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I gotta change the oil in my car.
Right now, get 5 quarts of STP conventional or high mileage with an STP oil filter for only $26.99.
Get in the zone.
And what do I do with my old oil?
We can recycle your used oil for free.
Get in the zone,
And I might need some help.
No problem. We have helpful how-tos at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Your Sacramento State Hornets kick off the 2023 football season this Saturday, September 9th, with kickoff at 7 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
Have you ever heard that phrase, less is more? Well, at Harbor Freight, we're all about more for less, because we know you like to do stuff, to make stuff, to improve stuff. That's why everything in our stores, from miter saws to tool chests to cordless impact wrenches, is priced affordably. So get out there and drill, paint, and saw to your heart's content. We just ask that whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916, Sactown Sports.
Welcome back to Sactown Sports. I'm Brian Noe. He's Chris Watkins. So let's rip the Band-Aid right off. So I'm looking for
it's the best
Chris,
way to do it, from what I hear.
On the eve of not even the eve. What am I talking about?
Yeah, we're like
just we're like what? How long from kickoff? Right now?
We are like 2 hours, right? It starts at 6. 1 hour.
5:20 is the start time.
Wow, dude, we're just about an hour away.
Man.
So we're on the doorstep.
No idea.
Forget the eve. We're on the doorstep of the NFL season beginning. So this is a gross, disgusting, terrible exercise. But I think it challenges your process.
Yes, definitely.
So we're looking for, you're typically seeing, since the NFL expanded to 14 playoff teams, you typically see half the field not get back there.
Yeah.
So we're looking for 7 teams that won't get back to the playoffs and 7 new teams that will be getting to the playoffs.
Yep.
So what are you thinking here, Chris?
This is such a tough exercise. Again, I don't want any of the things that I'm about to say to be held up against me. The easiest for me was Tampa Bay. I mean, I just feel like their division, whoever wins that division is going to be the only playoff team from the NFC South. And with them having Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask as their quarterbacks, I think the Saints are going to win, but I'd be pretty shocked if the Bucs are the team to come out of that. So that one felt easy to me.
Okay.
Besides that, I'm just going to go down the list. I've got Seattle. I've got Baltimore. I've got the Giants. I've got the Chargers. I've got the Bills out.
Okay.
And this last one, I was going back and forth. I'm a Vikings fan. I didn't want to take them out, but I have to. I have to take them out just for the sake of the exercise. Like, I'd like to just stop at 6, but it was either them or Cincinnati, and I just really couldn't ration taking out Buffalo and Cincinnati.
Hey, man,
so
I appreciate you not homering out on us.
I tried. I really tried to, but I just couldn't.
You couldn't do it.
Couldn't.
I respect it. Okay, so who do you have going in? Who are the 7 newbies?
Those are all my outs. My ins, new teams that weren't in last year that will be in this year. Again, the easiest one to me felt like the Jets. The Jets with just all the hype that they have coming into this season. If you're going to pick a team that wasn't in there last year, they feel like the most obvious. The Saints, I mentioned, them winning the NFC South. I've got the Cleveland Browns hopping in. Unfortunately, I do believe that the Detroit Lions are going to sneak in there.
Unfortunately,
I also have another NFC North team taking it as well. I think the Packers could make the playoffs this year if things go really well for Jordan Love. Again, please do not use this against me in the future. The Rams, again, I don't. If I've got to pick teams, I think that there is a universe where, Matthew Stafford and maybe if Cooper Kupp can get on the field, I think there is a chance that they can be a good enough team. And with Sean McVay's history, his record as a head coach has been really, really good with the exception of last year. It wouldn't surprise me if they can bounce back. And then the 2 last ones, the Denver Broncos and I'm sorry, that's actually the last one is the Denver Broncos. Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm not too far off from you.
Cool. That makes me feel a lot better.
Well, that makes me feel good that you think that makes you feel good. You know what I mean? You're not like, oh, God, I like my list.
If
until
we're similar, then I don't know what I'm thinking here.
I am fascinated by the Packers this year.
Yeah.
And listen, Chris, I did a bunch of fill-in radio in Milwaukee this summer. And I'm not high on the Packers.
What's the hype level on the Jordan Love train?
It's pretty high.
Oh, I feel
it's pretty high.
Yeah.
So there, you can understand. They're like, it's their team.
Yeah.
If Jordan Love does this, and the division isn't that tough, and we could go here, and I'm like, yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah.
So in turn, they're not fond of me a whole lot.
Right?
I gotta say the truth. I could be dead wrong.
Nah, I appreciate that about you, man. Yeah, you gotta. It doesn't matter what market you're in. You gotta. If you believe something, I think you were the one who weren't. Were you high on Brock Purdy? Right? Didn't you come on?
No.
Slamming Brock Purdy? No.
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced. There are a lot of people that are buying Purdy Palooza. I gotta see more.
Gotta speak your truth, man. There's nothing wrong with it.
But the thing with the Packers, I can really see it going either way. I can. But when you look at Jordan Love, he's thrown 83 career passes.
That's crazy.
And he's surrounded by nothing but young guys. He's throwing to only young receivers. Christian Watson, he might not go in week 1 now. He's a little bit gimpy. He's missed a couple of days of practice. And then I just don't know that he's going to hit the ground running with rookie tight end, rookie slot receiver, year 2 wide receivers. Like, he's got young all around him. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
But listen, man, there are a lot of sharp dudes in Vegas. They're all over the Packers. So
yeah, I mean, and you said you've been talking in the area. Like, I know that there's a lot of people who watch a lot more football than I do who are just they're incredibly high on Matt LaFleur. Like, people believe that he's kind of in that Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, class of coach. And I personally don't believe it yet. But I mean, if you look at his win-loss record as a head coach, there's all the reason to believe that he's kind of capable of uplifting a team like, with an inexperienced team like what Jordan Love has in front of him.
I think this is going to be the year where a lot of Packer fans appreciate Aaron Rodgers a lot more.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not saying that the whole fan base doesn't, but I think at the end of a long, dramatic relationship, there's this tendency to be like,
right.
Feels a lot better now that there's not drama. I think it's like moving places. Like I've been renting furnished homes. I've done 3 of them this year alone.
Oh my
Chris.
gosh.
And so the last place we moved from, like, I noticed all the things. I noticed it even more at the current place.
Right.
The current place is nice, but I'm like, oh man, we don't have a deck. We don't have a lake.
Right.
We don't have door water, right? We had door water at the old place. But I think that's what it's going to be like for Packer fans, where it's like, oh yeah, kind of nice to have a guy when you need a touchdown drive that can just throw dime after dime. Kind of a luxury to have.
Well, totally. And I mean, Packer fans have been spoiled, whether they know it or not. I mean, it's been 20 plus years of just good quarterback play. Like, they went straight from Brett Favre, who definitely had his ups and downs, but Brett Favre was a great, fantastic, whatever word you want to use. He's one of the best quarterbacks we've seen. And especially from a numbers perspective, and then to go straight from him to Aaron Rodgers, a guy who skill-wise is maybe better than Brett Favre, and now you're going from Jordan Love. It's like it's going from 2 greats to maybe a guy who he might be okay, he might be good, but just that drop-off, they're going to notice it in somewhat, and I think that it's going to be a big awakening for them.
By the way, where am I on the nuts scale? Okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being like, bro, you need to see a specialist right away. Okay.
Yeah.
I did a radio hit. My guy, Nate Brown in South Dakota, he asked me to come on the show yesterday. He said, hey, here's my Super Bowl prediction. I've got Bills 49ers. And I hit him with, I have both of them missing the playoffs.
Oh,
like, how high is that on the scale? Are we talking 9? Is that full-fledged 10 to you?
Yeah. I mean, that's some walnuts. Like that's pretty up there on the nut scale. That's not peanuts. That's not, pine nuts or nothing. That's pretty bold.
It is. Yeah. I look at it where, look, man, Bills quality roster, but tough division, tough conference.
Yeah.
Josh Allen takes a lot of chances running the ball. The injury factor, who knows? I'm not sold on Purdy. And there's a team, I love the Niners roster, but there's going to be a team where we're like, no way, no, stop, get out of here. Like, I could see them missing. I really could.
I could see Buffalo just because of the AFC being tough and their specific division, but the Niners, like,
hard to see them both.
I mean, I just feel like at least in the NFC, they got to make.
I'm crazy. That's how it goes. All right.
I didn't
keep
say
it locked. Sactown Sports, Lions Chiefs coverage right now.
The first ever NBA in-season tournament schedule is out, and our Kings have some great matchups, including national TV games against the Spurs and Warriors.
And Sacramento has won. They have risen to the occasion. And let me tell you, if you can't sense it,